Hello and welcome to Construction Project Management Podcast series, where we talk about latest industry trends, problems, and their solutions. This is episode 2. Today, we have someone truly remarkable joining us. If you are someone trying to develop a contract strategy for large infrastructure or EPC projects, this project is for you. We are diving deep into the development of contract strategy for EPC and large infrastructure projects, the factors influencing it, and the aspects it includes throughout a full contract lifecycle of complex projects. Contract strategy, we have with us Mr. Sheik Faiazuddin. Well, if you don't know Mr. Sheik, let me give you a quick a quick overview. He is a civil engineer by profession with an MBA and an LLM in oil and gas and renewable energy law. He has vast experience of more than 30 years leading contracts and commercial life cycles across multi-billion dollar projects. He has worked across multiple sectors such as oil and gas, EPC, infrastructure, transport, real estate, and renewable energies in different multinational organizations such as Aramco, Bechtel Corporation, SABIC, Qatar Petroleum, in the GCC market as well as Canada. Currently, he has initiated Expert Contracts Organization, which offers contract management and claims consultancy, commercial advisory, training, and professional development. If you are associated with public organization, contractor, or an EPC firm and requiring these services, please click the link in the description of this episode. Thank you, sir, for joining us today and for taking time to share your knowledge and experience.
Thank you, Karim. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. It is more elaborative. I couldn't make myself this much concise, but thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor for me. So, as I mentioned earlier, today's topic is developing contract strategy for large infrastructure and EPC projects. Although this is a broad topic which cannot be summed up within few minutes in this podcast, but we'll be discussing the basic structure and the few aspects of developing contract strategy. And we are discussing this topic because the success of major infrastructure in EPC projects is defined way ahead of their actual construction. It is defined in the strong contract strategy that they have. A strong contract strategy not only help in achieving our intended outcome, but also lead in managing cost, time, schedule, and the parties involved in the project. So let's deep dive into the development of contract strategy. So can you please little bit explain to us and help us go through where from the development of contract strategy start? If we take an example of a public sector organization in Saudi Arabia, which is going to develop, let's say, a renewable energy project, let's say a 1,000 megawatt wind farm. It is the project is at an ideation stage. We have defined basic scope specifications, and we have just preliminary design, and we have defined just one stakeholder, which is the public. So how should we start development of contract strategy at this point, being an organization?
Okay, Hassan. So what is the current status of the project, you said?
The project is an ideation stage. It's in conceptual stage. We have just basic scope specifications defined.
Okay. So it's a very valid point, and I can take you step by step in the conversation. And, intermittently, you can stop me anywhere because while I will be talking the subject, I may not be knowing how lengthy is my speech, as it is very much subjective. So you have full rights to stop me at any point during the conversation.
Right.
Okay. So as I can see your concept that you are trying to establish how an effective contracting strategy must be in place to make the both parties in a win-win situation until
Yes.
you do the closeout.
Okay.
Right. So, Mr. Karim, the concept is about the contract lifecycle management.
Okay.
So, in the contract lifecycle management, the way you have in the project management, you have the concepts of initiation, then planning, then execution, then you have monitor and control, and you have the closeout.
Yes.
So it is the life cycle of the project management.
Yeah.
Similarly, you have a life cycle management of the contracting strategy or contracts management. So what is contracts administration and what is contracts management? You would like to understand. So contracts management is the process and procedures you develop for a contract to start from the inception to the handover. And the administration is how you will utilize those processes in achieving the deliverables. So, while saying that, the contracting strategy, you know, must not be singled out as to transfer the risk allocation only to the contractor.
Yes.
You have to be consistent from the beginning about your contracting strategy, wherein you should be having a clear and concise objective.
Okay.
And the objective must be consistent with the deliverables, how the deliverables are going to be practically achieved. And the stakeholder management is very important at every stage. And the design criteria and the management energy. Okay, so you are dealing with a private sector government project. In this stage, there will be electricity department, the Ministry of Transportation, and the Ministry of Roads, and the Ministry of Energy, and Ministry of Industries. So these are the stakeholders that will be coming into your picture. So the effective contracting strategy must be very clear in the beginning stage. Now let me take you into the four stages of the application of good contracting strategy for an infrastructure project. So you have the pre-tender stage
Okay.
and the post-tender stage, and you have the pre-contract stage and you have the post-contract stage.
Okay.
In the pre-tender stage, Karim, what you do, the activities are very important. As you said, we take the business plan.
Mhm.
From the business plan, you see that you are going to deliver this project, and you prepare the rough order estimate of the project, and you make a proposal with a simplest concept. So this is the concept. This is an open land. You will be having a wind farmhouse of 100, fans, and delivering this much energy. And you award the feed to the engineering designer.
Yes.
He will develop the detailed design, and he will develop the scope package, and he will develop the tender package. Once you obtain this, at this stage, you have to make a full stop. Now you have to develop a contracting strategy. The contracting strategy must define the contract duration and what is the budget allocated for that, and who are the stakeholders, and what is your tender plan when you would like to issue the tender, when you should be closing date, how many technical evaluations has to be done, what is the technical acceptance criteria, what is the commercial acceptance criteria, and what is the awarding criteria. Once you define that, in the next stage comes the preparation of the tender package. In the preparation of the tender package, your scope must be clearly defined, and the risks must be calculated very effectively, and the deliverables must be clearly outlined, and the design must be consistent to the project scope, and subsequently all the clauses that can define the contractual obligations binding by both parties must be clearly stipulated. Hope I'm clear.
Okay. So at the pre-tendering stage, what you told us that the scope must be very clear. We should have a detailed design at this stage. So what do you think? Should we choose contract model at this stage? For example, if we are going with the EPC or design build or EPCM contract model, should we choose this contract model at this stage, or would we choose at a later stage?
No, what happens is I forgot to mention the point. When you prepare the business case for the management, in the business case, you are in consultation with the feed contractor, and the
Okay.
feed contractor, has a timeline. Sometimes you are in a hurry to initiate the project without the design, and you want to do it as the design is available.
Okay.
So if the design is you are not having 100%, if the scope is not having 100%, and you would like to go ahead with the project, because sometimes the client is very interested to release the project immediately.
Yes. Right.
So you cannot wait 100% for the scope to be there. I mean, it may take years to complete. So in this situation, you can choose for a reimbursable contract or a unit rate contract.
Okay.
And at this stage, during that contracting, business case preparation, the management will tell, okay, no, we need to wait until the 100% design, 100% scope is, then go for lump sum. So in the business case, once you prepare that is the pre-tender stage, when you prepare, yeah, I told you pre-tender, which is a session which you initiate with everything about keeping the document ready to be tendered.
Yes.
You got me correct?
Yes, I got it.
So you have a complete tender document during the pre-tender stage. And what is post-tender? Post-tender is a stage during which you do the tendering evaluation.
Okay. Bid solicitation.
Exactly.
Yes.
And until you prepare the technical evaluation and commercial evaluation stops at the post-tender.
Okay.
And the pre-contract starts from the point of award till preparation of the contract document.
Yes.
And once the contract document is prepared and signed, and once the contract started in execution, your post-contract activity starts.
Yes. Okay. So before the contracts document is drafted, we need to select which standard forms of contract are we going to follow. Do we define this in the business when we are defining the business case, or would we define it at later stage in the pre-tendering stage?
Yeah,
For example, FIDIC.
in the pre-tendering stage, you will decide the form of contract, type of contract,
Okay.
and the pricing mechanism, and
Okay.
the estimate.
Okay. Got it.
You have everything like scope, tender document, estimate, bill of quantities, and what else? You are the type of contract and form of contract. So type of contract and form of contract differences. Type is it a lump sum contract or unit rate contract or reimbursement? And form of contract, is it bespoke? Is it FIDIC? Is it,
JCT.
NCT, JCT,
Yes.
and NEC? So those
Anything.
kind of that's forms.
Okay. Let's dive a bit in the risk allocation. How do you allocate risks between the parties? Let's say the employer and the contractor. What I have observed is the FIDIC logic is whoever controls or is responsible for a risk should bear the consequences if that risk causes damage. So, using your experience, how do you allocate risk between the parties?
The risk has to be identified at every stage. And the stages of the contract life cycle during pre-tender, post-tender, every stage. And you have to identify those risks and you have to ensure that you attend them and you ensure that somebody is, you prepare the list of the risks, you allocate them to the risk owner and you track them, you monitor them, and you take the strategies, transfer, mitigate, there are four types of risks. Either you can transfer it, either you mitigate it, either you avoid it. So you have to take the strategy according to the situation. Say, for example, I started the project in June,
Okay.
and my major equipment from China is supposed to be delivered in September. And when I check the records, during the September month, the weather is very bad in the sea.
Okay.
So I am going to take this risk and attend it and outline it and what is the strategies I have to apply to avoid that risk.
Okay.
So my suggestion is identify the risk, delegate them, and conclude them.
Okay. Got it. In your experience, was there any project involving incorrect allocation of risks or where risks were not defined clearly? What were the impacts?
We have been, we are construction people, and unfortunately, no matter how effectively you plan your activities, uncertainty and ineffective activities and unforeseen conditions always take precedence,
Okay.
to which you have to be ready always. So I planned everything, but somehow the guys who are supposed to be taking care of are not monitored properly. And as a project director, as a project manager, it came into my head. I am the captain of the ship.
Okay.
So I have to drive it. So in my situation, I face the challenges on a daily basis, and the effective, psychology you have to use, and your emotional intelligence and your corrective planning with a strategy aimed at overseeing in an effective manner uh, you know, uh, to be absorbed by everyone.
Okay.
So basically, those risks results in extra payment, extra work,
Extra time delay.
extra time. You are right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So things, we are used to. I mean, let me be practical. I cannot say I'm a good project manager. I will run the project 100% in cost, in time, in budget. No,
Oh, obviously.
because my role, Karim, not by my role. I'm depending so many people,
Yes.
so many situations, so many contractors, so many material. Sometime I may fall short of material, short of resources, short of finances, short of client approvals. So challenges are there.
Okay. Let's move ahead and talk about little bit about change and claims. In human psyche, we are reluctant to change, and majority of stakeholders in the complex projects have intention that the project should complete within time, schedule, and budget, which is defined earlier in the business case. But this is not true in the real scenario because of a lot of different factors as you talk about. So how can we develop change and claims strategy in the contract at the earlier stages when we are developing contracts?
Yeah. So when you have this kind of uh, all all claims comes because of the disagreement. So a claim is a disagreement. If you agree, if I agree, it is a payment.
Payment.
But I'm not agreeing to pay you. That's why you are claiming to me.
Yes.
So your claim may be valid, but it must be justified with the circumstantial evidences and documentary proofs.
Yes.
The first thing starts contractual notice. Has the contractor given the sufficient notice time to the client that he is going to claim? There itself, the all matter fails. Assuming you have done a good work, but if you have not issued a notice to claim, your claim is not acceptable. So,
Yes.
if you are asking the question about claims, I want to ask you, what do you mean by that? I mean, am I a client answering this? Am I a contractor answering this?
Let's suppose you are a client and you are in an organization which is going to float the tender to contractor. You are a developing authority and you are drafting contract for it. So how do you develop claims and change management strategies in the contract?
Yeah, change management strategy is very clear. I have written several procedures. According to the change management, let's talk about FIDIC or let's not talk about FIDIC, even if it is FIDIC or bespoke. The thing is, no verbal changes.
Okay. In writing, everything is
Yeah,
writing.
everything is in writing.
Okay.
And no contractor shall start any work without an officially signed document between two parties.
Okay.
Only in the event of emergencies, I will give verbal authority and that can be recorded, or I can give an email to the contractor started. And what is the emergency? Number one is a fire. Number two is a threat to somebody's life. In these two conditions, I waive every procedure and I will give you money, whatever you ask me, while you execute the job. Apart from that, change management procedure, I will develop as an internal administration procedure from the contract and cascade the document at the signing ceremony of the contract. Take this and you implement it. And similarly, for the claims processing, also I will document it and I will tell the contractor how I will make sure a claim is processed.
Okay. Right. Before concluding this session, there's a last question about contracts packaging strategy, because majority of times we do not award a single contract in a large EPC or infrastructure project to a single contractor. We involve multiple contractors uh, who are obligated to perform different duties. So what is the right strategy to develop a good contract packaging so that there should we can avoid leaving gaps between the responsibilities and to get a cohesive and complete outcome from the project?
On my role as a contracts manager, I regularly practice this, and my companies are very proud of my style. What I do is, say for example, company has chosen 10 contractors to participate in the tender. So what I do prior to issuing the tender, prior to making as a package, I invite all the 10 contractors and I ask them, I do the presentation, guys, this is my complete scope. Now you guys tell me one by one, what percentage of scope you can accept if you are awarded the contract.
Okay.
So for example, I tell you one story. I was the contracts director for one of the projects in Tehran in Saudi Aramco for 3,500 homes.
Okay.
So during that 3,500 homes, we were all, like disturbed. What to do? Shall we award the entire 3,500 homes to one contractor? Or how many packages we should make? 500, 500, 500, 500, 1,000, 1,000, 500. What? Then I suggested, let's talk to the contractor and take their capacities. So the contractors came. Out of the 10 contractors, 3 raised the hand. One said, I can take 1,000. One said, I can take 1,000. One said, I can take 1,000. Another said, I can take 500. And remaining, all the other guys were, is nodding like, yeah, this is a good strategy. So I simply make it in 4 packages.
Okay.
1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 500. So talk to the contractors, understand their load. Don't just simply throw the tender in the market and sit idle and look for the contractors to, like contractors were sitting like, okay, how can I participate? Should I participate? Don't make them nervous. Help them to help you.
Okay. So talk to them and discuss them
Yeah,
before you are floating tenders,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Right. So this is the 30 minutes mark. Thank you, sir, for leading us through the development of contract strategy in such a concise and practical way. Although it is a very broad topic that could easily take several days to discuss, I believe we have covered some of the most important considerations that organizations should think about when embarking on major EPC and infrastructure projects. Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today.
Thank you, Karim.
To our audience for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.